We're live with
Oh, baby,
Piece.
Don't give it up, Zolo.
Our premiere show, Don't Give It Up Bradley, which is not its
Premiere.
name, don't forget, but that's its nickname. I'm your host, Willer. We're going to be talking about some One Piece today.
I'm Joe, third-ranked degenerate of Robins.
Yeah.
I'm Bradley, formerly a chore boy, now I forgot what Kobe became in this volume.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I think he's a lieutenant, but we'll see.
No, he's not. He's like a chief petty officer,
Nice.
I think.
Joe, you are not third-ranked degenerate Robin. You are like top-tier degenerate Robin. Don't...
Just look at it, though. Look at her.
Don't sell yourself short. All right, we're doing volume 45. Bradley, why don't you swiftly take us in to this Post-Enies lobby world?
I talked about this a little bit in the last recording, where this is the volume where Willer handed it to me, and I saw the cover art with Shanks and Ace and Blackbeard and Whitebeard and some new motherfucker, and I'm like, oh my god, all these people aren't supposed to be here.
And he didn't even know that new motherfucker was an old motherfucker. It's great.
It was even more terrifying because, like, at the time he handed me this volume, I hadn't finished Enies lobby yet. So I'm like, what the fuck? Are they, like, gonna show up in the middle of this fight? Which would have been fucking insane.
Can you imagine?
Shanks would never show up in the middle of a conflict.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But yeah, and also Luffy is sporting his cool Galley Law Company tank, which I kind of want one.
Mm-hmm.
That is
It's
cool.
kind of fucking sick. And then, so at the beginning of every volume, Oda always has one of these, it's one of these little Oda quotes, and we don't usually read them, but this one was really funny to me, so I'm gonna read it. 10 years have passed since I first began my days of battle with the boys. Boys who were 10 when this manga started are now 20. They're probably hairy in the you-know-what. Let me be clear, though. I mean the armpits. Well, this is getting a bit too long. I mean the manga, not the pit hair. There's so many things I want to draw about, so whether you're a smooth boy or a hairy boy, I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the ride.
Man,
Wow.
Oda, 2007.
10 years ago, basically, was this volume's release? That's
Yeah.
interesting to
Guess
me.
what? Oh, I guess I did mention, this is where I caught up to One Piece. It was around volume 43, around when Chopper was going Monster Point. That's when I got up to one.
So
And I've
13 years ago, Willer started going week by week.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And here we are. I'm a grown-ass man. I got hair in armpits and other places, Oda, and I'm sticking with you.
Mine was a year ago.
Yeah.
And Willer and I were talking about it in our road Poneglyph, and we're just like, oh my god, I've been reading One Piece for a full year. Like, I literally have read a whole year, like, without skipping a week.
And Bradley has read a year's worth, too.
Hey.
Look at us. Look at us being One Piece boys.
Well, I guess we could jump right into it.
Yeah, we're starting off with Bradley.
This is volume 45, which starts at chapter 431, Fist
What's
of
the name of this
Love. And you know, I read Fist of Love, and I was like, I have no idea what this is going to be. Let's see what we got. So obviously, a lot of this volume is just kind of wrapping up the. It's like wrapping up Water 7 and Enies Lobby, the fallout, seeing what people are doing. More or less, everyone's really happy. The Straw Hats got their shit back. They're all alive.
Yeah.
And we're trying to dance around the fact that Frankie is obviously going to join the Straw Hats.
Yeah, part of this volume is transitioning Frankie, like, from leaving his family to come join the Straw Hats.
Yeah. What I didn't expect in this chapter 431 was for a vice admiral to immediately come to Water 7 looking for Luffy. I'm like, oh fuck, like they didn't learn their lesson back at fucking Enies lobby.
Did you think this was immediately bad news?
Yeah, I was like, holy fuck, like a vice admiral is nothing to sneeze at, but this isn't just any vice admiral, no. This is Vice Admiral Garp.
So before we get into Garp, there are some important little like lore tidbits that are thrown in here.
Hit me with them, Joe. Hit me with them.
So Frankie comes back and apologizes after everything, and he mentions the Tree of Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be the strongest tree in the world because it survived multiple wars and battles and everything. So this is what he spent all of that money that the Straw Hats gained on, basically, which is getting this wood.
What is the One Piece economy when 200,000 berry buys you the most expensive world?
It's 200 million.
Oh yeah,
200. Holy shit, 200 million?
Oh yes.
Okay, all right, never mind.
One Piece economy, am I right, ladies?
Yeah. So I think this is an interesting character moment for Frankie because, like, before this even like all started, there was still a little bit of that shipbuildingness in Frankie, and he knew he could get this wood, and he went ahead and got it even before he knew what he was going to do with it.
Oh yeah. It was also at this moment that I realized I had forgotten that we never learned what he spent the money on.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Deal.
We never learned what?
That
until this moment, we didn't learn what he spent all the Straw Hats money on. So I was like, oh yeah, I wondered what happened to that.
Oda leaves no stone unturned. I like how Luffy can eat while he's sleeping. That's actually relevant. And
yes.
I like how Sodom and Gomorrah, the two giant king bulls, they went blind from the fight, and now they're like, oh, they just got arrested off, which Oda continues to be the biggest fucking coward in the world.
Because they had they got it bad during that fight.
It was really hard to watch, but moving on. So we get to Garp, right?
Oh my god, y'all.
Also Zoro's lost, which goes to a great throwback line later.
The best.
But anyways, Garp.
This is Luffy's grandpa.
Yeah.
So, there's been moments where, like, I might ask Willer and Joe, like, I forget, like, did we hear anything about Luffy's family? And they're like, oh, we don't really know anything. Like, we don't, you guys did really good. Anytime I asked about his dad, you'd be like, no, he doesn't have a dad. Don't worry about it. Like, you'd just be like, we don't know anything about his dad.
I want to clarify, every time we answer to where you're at. So even if we know that there is a dad, we would just say so far nothing's been mentioned.
Yeah, and I think I think the grandpa was mentioned at some point.
Yes.
We didn't know it was Garp.
Yes, it was an Aokiji. Aokiji mentions that the whole family is rotten, every single one of them,
right,
including your grandpa.
And you took it to mean like Ace, but he was really talking about Garp, which makes even more sense because he works with Garp.
And Dragon.
Yeah.
And I'm also still interested because, Luffy, his father, and his grandpa are all Monkey D whatever. Mm-hmm. But we do have Portgas DA, so I wonder if he's like a half brother or what. So I'm sure we'll learn something about that.
Yeah.
Very strange.
But yeah, Grandpa's here, y'all.
Mm-hmm. I want to bring up, and this is like a slight spoiler, it doesn't really matter. They're doing my least favorite trope of anything here, where Garp wears this dog mask until he takes it off right now. He never puts this shit back on. So it's just, I can't, it's such a pet peeve of mine in manga where there's like, we're a secretive organization until we're not. It's like, why were you wearing it in the first place? Just to hide it.
So Oda mentioned this, I think, in an interview or something, and he said because Garp's design carried over from the original one-shot of One Piece and was Luffy's grandpa, so you wanted to hide the fact that Helmeppo and Kobe went to Garp's ship, which people would have immediately assumed was Luffy's grandpa.
That's lazy, Oda. -point. Okay. All right.
Because we did see Garp back during Kobe and Helmeppo's
the cover story.
He was wearing the dog mask, but he is the one who's been training them, and we saw him way back when.
Mm-hmm. Man. So we were like, man, that's probably really cool on a reread, because you're like, oh my god, that's Luffy's grandpa.
It definitely is.
Wow.
That was this was the point when I realized, like, oh, those cover stories are really important.
Oh, yeah. Chapter 432, though, Jack in the Box.
Why is it called that? I forget.
Monkey D. Garp, a.k.a. Garp the Fist, the hero of the Navy. So this is the point where I'm like, okay, yeah, like I was like, what is this guy getting at? Like, what's his game, right? Because he's obviously really high ranked in the Navy, and Luffy's a notorious pirate, and he seems really happy to be here. So I'm like, is he happy to see Luffy? Is he gonna bring him in? And I mean, he's a really interesting fellow.
Yeah, he's pretty goofy.
As soon as and it's really cool how Oda shows family resemblances where they're yelling at each other and then they just both fall asleep at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, this is definitely Luffy's grandpa. And we also get to learn a little bit more where, so they kind of the subject of Shanks comes up, and we get to expand our world a little bit here, where we learn that Shanks is one of the 4 greatest pirates in the world.
Yes! Oh, we finally get to talk about this. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
So up till now, it's been like, oh, the 7 warlords, they're like they're the badasses, and then it's like now though, we got the 4 emperors.
So, first of all, the 7 warlords are they're Marines basically. They're pirate Marines, but these are the actual like pirate. Like the head honchos. Also, man, these designs are outdated.
Yeah.
But the point is, I've almost let this slip so many times because I don't remember when it's introduced. I'm just glad it's finally out there.
Gabe, this is so good. So when you look online, Bradley, and like sticking with the theme of everything's called a different name in One Piece forums, the emperors are called the Yonkos.
Which translates to 4 emperors.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the original translation, they were actually called the 4 kings of New Londo. It was funny, though. Whenever I read this page, I was like... I had the thought that I'm sure every One Piece fan has had, where it's like... How did Shanks get his arm bitten off by a little...
Oh my god, yes!
creature? And they even address it a little bit in this volume where Whitebeard's like... what did that to you? He's like, what could have taken your arm? Shanks doesn't really...
So it's important to note, though, and this, we don't really get revealed later, but Shanks is the youngest of the 4 Yonkos and the one that's been a Yonko the least amount of time.
Okay.
He is also... Yeah, he also became Yonko after that happened. It's revealed in outside sources called Vive cards, so I might as well bring it up here. It doesn't really affect anything. However, no, it is still dumb. And what we have to go with is that he bet his arm on the New Age as like a show to Luffy. Yeah. It's sketchy no matter how you slice it.
Does Whitebeard not have a beard?
No, Whitebeard has a mustache. Moving on.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's
his last name. What are you talking about? It's not his actual.
It's really funny when we turn the page here. Zoro saw the Navy was here and he's rushing to tell Luffy. But the funniest thing here is that these people showing Zoro the way are Hoikel and Michael.
Oh my! Our favorite joke, and I had no idea I had this payoff.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until this read through where I was like, yeah, Hoikel and Moiko are my boys.
And the thing is, it's funny. This is the first time you actually see them, but they've been characterized enough just through the question corner where I'm like, of course they would wear t-shirts with their names on them.
Oh, they're delightful.
Yeah, obviously Hoikel and Michael are going to put their name on their fucking t-shirts so everyone knows who they are.
I want to bring up before we move on to the next main attraction is like Garb calling Shanks like a no good pirate who influenced his baby boy. I really like that. Where it's just fun that he looks down on Shanks for taking Luffy down this path, and Luffy's just like, no, Shanks is the best.
Yeah, because like from our perspective, we're like, Shanks is the reason Luffy is the like honorable man pirate that he is. So yeah, it's interesting. One Piece good there. I said
it. You know, Bradley, you don't have to do that every time.
I mean, the people need to know. The people have a right.
So some dudes show up and they're pulling out 6 powers.
Yeah, and it's funny. Whenever Garp tells them to try to stop Luffy and Zoro. He specifically says, "You two try and stop him," and I'm like, you know damn well they're not going to be able to stop him.
Yeah.
Which goes along with this training. It's like, let's see how far y'all got.
Yeah, and so Luffy and Zoro fucked them up pretty easily, and I'm like, you goddamn right. But then we see it's fucking Kobe.
Oh my god!
Kobe. It's our best friend.
Dude, and I love how Zoro recognizes him. It would have been so easy for Zoro to be like, "Who's Kobe again?" But like, Zoro is just not that like guy. He's not that asshole like too cool for school guy.
Man, y'all, it's been like 40 volumes. I missed our boy.
It's literally been 44 volumes.
God
it's literally been 10 years.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Crazy. Also, the glow up.
Also, there's some other guy here I think we're supposed to know.
Oh, come on. Give him his due respect.
I'm just doing the in context joke. It's Helmeppo, everyone's favorite.
Helmeppo's back too, and he also looks cool.
I love the running joke that the Straw Hats just don't remember him.
Which is fair. It's better they don't remember him because he was an asshole. So
yeah, if Zoro remembered, he'd probably be like, "Get the fuck out of here."
You know what's really funny, Bradley? I don't know if you remember if you made this comment, but like back in Long Ring Long Island or whatever it is, you made a comment about like, I wonder what Helmeppo's doing right about now.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, he was on his way here.
Well, it's not completely out of nowhere because we did see Helmeppo in the cover stories, so we know he's partially relevant still.
But those cover stories were way ago.
Yeah, it's good on you to remember, I guess.
There's also another cover story, Bradley, where you see Garp, Kobe, and Helmeppo walking in the background. I think it might have been one of the Hina cover stories.
Yeah, it was a Hina one.
But yeah. But they're here.
We're glad to see our boys. And, obviously, Kobe isn't like, "Grr, you dirty pirates." He's like, "These are my fucking good friends whom I love." So, I don't know. Such a sweet boy.
They recognize Helmeppo through the butt chin. That's great.
But Garp has some information about Luffy's father, which I was like, whoa, hold up. And he says, "I heard you met your father." And I'm like, what?
What?
And it turns out Luffy's father's name is Monkey D. Dragon the Revolutionary. And this is the motherfucker who was basically the reason the Straw Hats were able to escape
Smoker.
Whatever the fuck you want to call that town. I've heard 3 different names for it.
Luge, Rouge, Bouge, Bougie Town.
Y'all have also, among all those, I've also heard Log Town.
No, sure, Douche Town.
Douche Town, there you go. But yeah, Luffy's father is this, like, pretty much the most wanted person on the planet.
Yeah, they're all freaking out about it. Luffy doesn't know nothing, but the other Straw Hats do.
Yeah.
I think around here was the part where I was like, this feels like it's moving really, really fast for me. Because I'm like, in like 1.5 chapters, we introduced like 2 members of Luffy's family, and they're like these super powerful, important people. And we also got to see Kobe, and we're learning more about the world. We learned about the 4 emperors. I was like, what? Like, One Piece has excellent pacing. And this was the one moment where I was like, well, I could go for a little bit slower here, but I do trust Oda. I mean, he's like the best manga writer there is. So
and here's the thing about all that, right? So, in one hand, you could say it's moving fast, but we're also getting a bunch of moments between the Straw Hats and Kobe and Helmeppo. So it's not like the plot is moving at the cost of character time. So that's not the issue. And also the issue, like, yes, we're introducing these concepts, but we're not doing anything with them. We're not even coming close to doing anything with them. We're just setting the piece up for us to do stuff with them way later, which I think by definition isn't moving fast, It's just like, here's a little nibble for the future. We're not...
It would be very fast if, like, Garp comes in and is like, "Oh, I'm trying to track down your dag dragon who's in water stuff right now. We have to go find him."
Yeah, that would be... Which... I mean, without reading future chapters, you might as well be like, well, is he also going to show up? So, yeah. But
it's yeah, I agree with Willer. It's all about setup, and the other thing too is like it makes sense for where this information is coming from as well. Like
coming from Garp.
Yeah, I guess if like Luffy's grandpa shows up, obviously he's gonna talk about his son. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Family matters and all that.
His no good son.
So now, Bradley, there's an important thing that we need to lay down here. There are now 3 factions essentially in the world. There is the world government and the navy. There is the group of pirates, and there's the revolutionaries.
Yeah,
it's important to know the revolutionaries are not pirates.
Yeah,
right.
They're completely, and among that we have the Yonko, which are the upper echelon of the pirate. We've basically set up almost every player in One Piece in this chapter. Actually, there's like one key faction missing, and that's about it.
I wonder what would happen if Luffy's dad found out he had Nico Robin.
I mean, he does.
Oh, does he know?
No, why would he know that? I don't think he knows.
Oh, Luffy's dad. Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you said Garp.
Yeah, I was like, if Luffy's dad knew his son had Nico Robin, he'd probably be like, I'm gonna pay a visit to my son.
Yeah, Garp Dragon doesn't strike me as a kind dad. Seems like an
just look at that face. Look at that face.
Mm-hmm. There was something Bradley said when we first saw Dragon. It would be really interesting to rewatch that discussion.
Yeah, I might want to re-listen to that.
Yeah, because I feel like some fun stuff came up. I was like, ooh, Bradley's hitting some fun spots. Yeah, I'll probably give that a listen later.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to re-listen to all these podcasts someday.
They're a little time capsule.
Yeah. I know one thing I mentioned whenever we got all these drops about Luffy's dad and his grandpa. And like, don't start tripping. This is purely
speculation,
personal choice.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily like it when like everyone who's related to our main character has to be someone super important in the setting. Mm-hmm. Like you guys said though, like Luffy didn't get anything from his family being important and powerful. Like he came from nothing, you know?
Yeah.
But
I think that becomes more and more clear the further you get into the story. But we'll leave that for now. It rubbed you the wrong way, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Friendship canceled with Oda. I'm done.
So I tend to lean with you because it can be a slippery slope. You can get like a Skywalker scenario or a Naruto situation. Though even Luffy doesn't have a demon fox in him that was gifted to him by his super special dad, and he's not then trained by like Jiraiya. Like Luffy has a short stint with Shanks, who is one of the best pirates in the world, but he's not really trained by Shanks. And he's got a very strong grandpa. He doesn't even know his dad. So
I think the one thing that is actually kind of holding me onto it, and that makes me think it might be really cool, is this mysterious power of D. Maybe it's no coincidence that the people he's related to are as influential in the world as they are.
Yeah. I really like Garp. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know about Garp now that we kind of learn later in the story, which makes Garp kind of an interesting character.
He's one of Joe's favorite characters, and
Joe, you should be Garp for Halloween.
Yeah, no, Joe. I'm like, Garp is old man Joe. That's how I view him.
Yeah, yeah. But one thing I want to point out while we're here on Garp, Garp immediately starts repairing the hole he made.
Oh yeah.
I just think that's an interesting kind of like character trait where Garp takes responsibility for the things that he does. You know? Like he's not like he offhandedly mentions Monkey D. Dragon being Luffy's father and his son, and then takes it back, but he doesn't take it back because of shame. He takes it back because he probably was ordered not to tell anybody that. So it's interesting that Garp doesn't Garp takes responsibility for everything that he's connected to. It feels like.
Yeah, it was really nice and I think purposeful of Oda to show this much humility from a vice admiral after we just came from Enies lobby where Spandam is going fucking nuts with power.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And that's kind of it for this chapter.
Yeah.
We spent a long time on it, but also like
it's an important
it's such a lore heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
We also didn't mention, but Usopp is like there with the crew, but not part of the crew at the moment. He's like looking through the window, because he's still hesitant about coming back.
Man, I can't believe Usopp's gone forever, guys.
Yeah, he's gone forever.
Never needed him.
All right, let's move on to 433. If that's all right.
So in chapter cover story land,
finally, we're here.
Yeah.
And Eru finds a little army man in a hole on the moon.
Yep.
Do you think Eru climbed that ladder down?
I don't know.
I think he turned into electricity and like rode the ladder down, like he does with the gold in his ship.
I bet you're right.
Because he's extra.
I bet he enslaved the moon people and made an arc that would carry him down into the hole.
Funny. You're a funny guy, Bradley.
The endless hole. So this is I just love this moment at the beginning of the chapter, and just because it's kind of funny and it characterizes Garp a little bit more. He's like, well, because this whole time I've been wondering, like, okay, so why are you here? Like, are you gonna fucking catch Luffy or what? And he's like, I'm not gonna catch you because you're my grandson. And like one of his underlings is like, you didn't have to say that. You could have just told your superiors. You couldn't. They got away. Like
that becomes important later in this volume. Because it gets Garp in trouble.
Yeah, he kind of gets in trouble, and then they're like, "No, go get him."
We didn't mention it, but Garp can hurt Luffy with physical blows. Which is played for a gag.
But he's a strong motherfucker.
Indeed.
But guys, let's get down to brass tacks. This is what this volume's all about.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Moment of silence for those thighs and those boobs.
They're alright. It's all alright.
One thing. Here's something. Time to play a game we don't play often. A game that we've played maybe one other time in 45 volumes of One Piece.
Which is
and it's Bradley doesn't like it.
Oh, okay.
I've gone on about how much I love the geography of One Piece and the Grand Line and how it kind of creates this path that everyone has to go through. There's no way around it.
I love this.
But I didn't like that if you some people can just go through the Calm Belt. I wasn't a fan.
I love it because, of course, humans are going to find a way to do it. And, of course, that technology would not be used by pirates. It's something that can only be used by the Marines. And Sea Prism Stone, it's not easy to do what they're doing here. It's very expensive and very costly. So it's cool that only the battleships of the Navy can be used to traverse the Calm Belt. Also, it helps that world make more sense where they can mobilize to places in the Grand Line without having to necessarily follow the same hardships that pirates do. It kind of fits that they have some cheats and shortcuts that allow them to do their job while pirates have to fully adventure through the Grand Line.
Yeah, but I was sitting here like, there's clearly a shitload of pirates who can take on battleships. I was like, I felt like there would be lots of pirates who have these ships or have taken the technology for themselves.
So it's like,
suppose that you do. Suppose that you steal a Navy battleship and you sail across the Calm Belt. What do you do then? You enter the Grand Line, and then what? Because the Grand Line is not, like, you can't navigate it like that without very particular tools. So
would the Navy battleship not have those tools? Because that's exactly what the Navy does. They just enter the Grand Line.
But say they probably have a tool that has an eternal pose to the island they're going to. But then it's like, okay, the pirate that steals the ship can cross and go to that one island, and then they have to figure out what to do after that. So it takes some navigational knowledge as well. So there's all these extra factors that make it So
yeah, but then all they need is one normal log pose, and then from there they can just continue as normal.
well, you can't skip the normal log pose, as I recall. Like, you have to go island by island. I don't know. I feel like only the Navy would have access to a bunch of eternal poses because they're pretty rare.
I don't know. This is like the maybe one thing so far where I've been like, I don't really like it.
The thing that's okay with me is that it's just the Navy, and I think it's also we don't know where Sea Prism Stone comes from. That's the other thing too. Like, we don't know how to get access to it, which is why no one else can take it. And it's also, I think, like a pride thing of like pirates with their own ship. They don't want Navy ships, but I can see where you're coming from, Bradley. There,
friendship ended with the Calm Belt.
That's true.
Friendship strengthened with Bikini Nami.
Wow, yes.
So she's trying to get info on the Navy, right?
Yeah. She's just trying to figure out what they do and like what they can be used for, and like just getting general information.
During this process, we learned that like the technology for feeding a devil fruit to inanimate objects is something that's relatively new.
Yes.
So like it makes sense, like it's something that was developed by the Navy. So it makes sense that Funkfried would be in the possession of the Navy.
Or the world government, which is associated.
Right.
Did they mention who came up with that technology, Joe?
It's right there.
There it is. That's
Dr. Vegapunk.
That's not the first time we've seen that name, as I recall.
It was back with Miss Merry Christmas and Mr. 4. They mentioned him as well.
Okay, that makes sense because Mr. 4 has the gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Dr. Vegapunk. Hold on to that name.
Yeah.
That's not the last time you're going to see that ham in this story.
So, Bradley, I have some bad news for you.
Oh, fuck.
We're getting to the point in One Piece where
boyfriend. I knew it.
Yeah, there are things that are going to be introduced that Willer and I have no idea where it goes to.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Part of the fun.
I mean, just be in the assumption that we know everything and we know nothing.
Yeah.
Y'all, I also like seeing this panel of Luffy jumping out of the barrel because I'm like, man,
look how far we've come.
Remember the good old days.
Remember when we were that Viking ripoff? The ripoff of that Viking show?
Vicky the Viking. I like how Luffy's just laughing about it. They're having a good time.
Dude, like,
I'm glad they're still friends.
It was so fun getting to see them just be fucking boys together.
Yeah. I like how once Nami realizes that they're kind of just sitting there, like, goofing off and, like, just talking about old times, she stops listening to them and walks away.
Oh, that's such a good touch.
Yeah.
We also learned that the second half of the Grand Line is called the New World.
Oh my, we're dropping everything. I can say so many words now.
And that's
Christ.
And that's a good name for it because it's probably like the least explored place on the planet.
Oh yeah. Especially when you get there and realize how you have to get there. It's insane.
It's very dangerous.
So the part of the Grand Line that we're in currently is called Paradise.
Yeah.
That's what this section is called.
Which is
goddamn, if this is paradise, I don't want to see not paradise.
This is the paradise that crushed Dawn Creek's spirit that we've seen like giant whirlpools and knock up streams and monsters.
Jesus.
Can't even sail without technology that's proper sailing.
That's paradise. So we're about to see what not paradise is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one day Kobe's gonna fight Luffy, and I'm like, man, I'm very excited. Chapter 800. Let's do it.
800.
Oh, fool.
Move on. Move on, you fool.
Yeah.
But yeah. The really cool thing is, y'all... Oh, so they're kind of getting ready for a party, and I just noticed whenever they go back and they are preparing for the party, Sanji's doing his usual, like, fawning over Robin, like, oh, how's the food that I made you? And she smiles and she's like, yeah, it's exquisite. And I'm like, it's just fun to see her smiling and chatting it up,
Mm-hmm.
You're getting introduced to actual Robin. The Robin you've known up until now is kind of a lie, and now you get real Robin.
Yeah,
I've been loving real Robin. In this volume, she's just so happy in it. makes me glad to know that for the first time in her life, she's not horribly depressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
It
just
doesn't feel like
vibing.
she's not gonna get betrayed by everyone she loves at the drop of a hat.
But dude, they make all this food, and Luffy yells, "Let's party!" And as soon as I saw that, I knew when I turned this page, I was about to see just something epic. Like, this reminded me a lot of the Skypiea, like, fire dance. And dude, I spent a long time looking at this party, and I'm like, man, I wish I was there.
Yeah.
Did you notice that everyone on this bridge is doing their Frankie pose with Frankie?
Oh man, that's so
that's
cool.
sick. I want to be on that bridge. Super.
Y'all, this is like the coolest fucking party of all time.
It is.
I'm sure One Piece is gonna have some even bigger parties coming up.
Yeah.
It's a small detail, but Nami's hair has gotten longer.
Oh yes.
Just to kind of give you an idea, like it's been almost like a year since they've been on their adventure
Something
with Luffy.
like that. It's been a hot minute.
I got really scared for a minute here when I saw stay right where you are and listen to me, Nico Robin. I was like, no, it's not over. But it's just Aokiji. It's our good friend.
It's
He's
such a good talk they have too.
It really is, and I don't know. Like, there's a lot of times where we're kind of wondering, what's Aokiji doing, and I think this clears a lot of that up for us. Where he's really doing what he's kind of doing for Saul, because Saul was his really good friend, and he's like, I got to finish what Saul started. I got to see where your life goes, and we learn why he does what he does when it comes to Robin.
I like how he says, I don't know if it was right or wrong for Saul to let you live, but maybe you can answer that question for me.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. He's like, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to let you prove your life, which you've never had a chance to do.
And I just remembered, it is Jaguar D Saul.
Yes.
Yep.
Power of D, baby.
Don't forget the other Ds that we know. Joe.
We got...
Oh, shit, he's right there.
Whoa!
Yeah, you know what? If you didn't have enough lore drops and world building, we jump over to Marijoa. I was about to say frequently. We dropped by there briefly, and they're like, hey, it would be a terrible thing if Shanks and Whitebeard made contact. Or no, they said that.
They said that after Jaya.
They said that after Jaya, and now it's like, hey, now they did make contact. Shit. And I'm like, they're all like shit, and I'm like, hell yeah.
Wow. Joe, this is kind of fascinating how even back then, like, these worries are here. Where it's like, so the thing that's significant about this is that this is two Yonko. This is two emperors meeting. And the whole world balance kind of hinges on these four pirates because they're that strong that you need the navy to balance them out in power.
They have to be, they're that strong, and they have to be warring at each other. Like, they can't be together. They can't be a unified force.
So Shanks meeting with Whitebeard, very scary, because that's two very powerful people who are not actively killing each other right now, and we really hope that they are.
Man, one day I want to learn what the deal with Whitebeard is, why he's sick and shit.
Is that not in this volume? Do we not get some Whitebeard this volume?
We do get Whitebeard, but I don't think we know why he's up to the machine.
I don't think that comes up until much later.
Y'all, I found a kindred spirit in the question corner for that issue.
What do you say?
This question comes from Arrow Fruit user. Oh. And that is ERO.
Yeah, it means pervert.
Question. Robin's devil fruit ability, the flower fruit, can let her sprout any part of her body. Can she make those huge breasts sprout too? Areola Fleur, said my brother. I'd like to get hit by that. And Oda says, that's pretty clever of you. Stop it. I'm sure she can do it.
I'm surprised they're able to say areola. I don't know.
Areola.
It's just not something you see in PG-13 content, but here it is.
So I know how I want to die now.
cool.
So this chapter's called Whitebeard and Red Hair.
Yeah. I had 2 chapter names to pick out to try and get you hyped up with this volume. It was this one or the one I told you.
Yeah, Joe's like, hey, look at this chapter name. Fire Fist versus Blackbeard. I was like, oh my god. Meanwhile, in cover story land, an arrow immediately tries to kill this cute little army man.
Oh, never change, you megalomaniac.
Never change.
Yeah,
I really like the art here.
It's really cool.
We get to see some of Whitebeard's crew, Jozu and Marco. I'm sure we're gonna see more of them in the future.
Yeah, we also get to see their ships.
I like getting to see their flags too.
Yeah. So, do you remember, Bradley, what was the flag previously? Because we saw it in the back of Ace.
I don't quite remember.
It was originally, instead of a cross with bones, it was a swastika.
Well,
that's
it
right.
wasn't a swastika. It was a manju, which is reversed.
Or manju, sorry, not swastika.
But everyone's gonna look at it and be like, "Hey, that's a swastika."
Ace was literally Hitler.
Yeah.
And he's your favorite character, huh? All right.
Love that boy.
But just thought I'd point that out, that it was changed, and probably one of the only few changes ever done retroactively.
Yeah, something like that. Whitebeard's ship is called the Moby Dick, so you can take that knowledge.
Yeah.
That's great. So Shanks comes onto the boat, and people are just fucking falling over in his presence. And
whoa!
I quote, as always, his hockey power is overwhelming.
Whoa, Joe! What the fuck is this?
This volume is insane.
What the fuck is this? Here? Now?
This is the first time in the story I think they've mentioned this hockey power. I feel like this is something I've heard of just from One Piece existing for the past 20, 30 years. Or something. 20 years.
Yeah. You'll get more information about hockey later down the line. But the only thing you should really know about it is that it's like a presence that someone has.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh god, now we got a new fucking element to all this mess.
Yeah, I can't fucking I'm actually shook right now.
And like whatever hockey power is, I was about to say like it's probably an element that is going to be really cool because in the later Grand Line, I'm sure there are very powerful pirates that don't necessarily have devil fruits, and so I'm sure there's something else that is balancing it out, like some kind of fighting spirit or
beyond
whatever.
that. Like, let's take it back. Zoro has been shooting sword beams and using demon aura.
It's obviously his hockey power. Okay.
And, well, isn't it? Maybe. And also Sanji has been burning his leg up. So, like, there's already been... Like, we already know how One Piece handles strong non-devil fruit users. They just have powers that are not devil fruit powers, basically. Just techniques, basically. But now we're getting whatever this hockey thing is, which is very interesting. Shanks is... Just the idea of Shanks walking through and people passing out is very cool.
And Shanks is dragging with him what I thought was his giant nutsack, but it's actually actually wine.
Yeah, big sake.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that, Shanks is still actually he's a respectable dude. He doesn't come here. He doesn't really shit talk Whitebeard to his face. He's like, hey, brought you some wine from my hometown. Thought you would like it. Not here to fight you. Just, asking a favor, because, what we know of Shanks, he's not an asshole,
Yeah.
Yeah. We also learned one more fact, Willer, that's coming up.
Let's see.
But go ahead.
Is it that we learned that Shanks used to be part of Goldie Roger's crew?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Finally, Jesus! I've almost talked about this 10 times. Which means, Bradley, if you can connect A and B,
that means Buggy was also on Goldie Roger's ship.
Yeah.
I didn't know our boy was such a badass.
He wasn't.
He really wasn't.
But he was there.
Yeah.
Think about what Shanks became and think about what... Okay, so do people call him Boogie or Buggy?
Buggy.
Buggy. think about what Shanks became, and then think about what he became.
That's one of me and Willard's favorite topics of conversation is that Bucky and Shanks had the same exact internship, but they both went different ways.
Yeah. They both have.
I guess in the East Blue, even Buggy can be a Chad.
Yeah, it's easy over there. That's the weakest blue.
Yeah, wow. But man,
this chapter's too much, dog.
I need to look something up real quick. But yeah, keep going, Bradley.
So Whitebeard comments on Shanks's arm here. He's like, "Hey, what enemy did you give that left arm to?" And he says he gave it up for the sake of a new era. What meaning? I think he has that confidence in Luffy that so many other people like Kokoro have in Luffy, where they can see this boy and his spirit, and they're like, "Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the goddamn king of the pirates."
I mean, Luffy definitely has main character privilege. We can't hide that. Even though he wasn't like born particularly strong, and he's had to become strong throughout the series, he's got that main character charisma, and it is what it is.
At the same time, I'm like, Shanks, you just didn't want to tell him that some punk ass little Neptunian. I don't even know if it was a Neptunian that bit his arm off.
Let me remind you that Luffy punched that Sea King in chapter 1 and knocked it out. Yeah. So it's like, early Shanks really dropped the ball there.
And then Shanks, to me, this was like Shanks changing the subject where he's like, "Okay, but the only scar that aches right now is this one on my eye."
Actually, it's really relevant. Does he talk about why?
Yeah, right there.
So I forgot that I should have read this volume before we did this. For some reason, I just forgot I was doing that. So like, this is all new.
This is kind of great because we're getting like reverse reactions.
Yeah. We do. So he got the scar from Blackbeard. He does mention though that at one point in the past he fought Hawkeye.
Yes.
From Marvel Cinematic Universe fame.
Yeah.
I forgot. Is Hawkeye a nickname for Mihawk, or is Hawkeye someone else?
Hawkeye Mihawk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Pirate Hunter Zoro.
His name is Dracul Hawkeye, quotation marks.
Okay.
Mihawk.
Dude, Shanks fought Mihawk and lived?
Yeah.
I thought, have they not...
Don't you remember, Bradley? When Luffy got his wanted poster, Mihawk visited Shanks and showed him the poster.
Yeah, I didn't know they fought there, did they?
They didn't fight there.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know they had fought before.
They're rivals throughout their career, is the implication here.
Boy.
Which means, hold on. So Shanks clearly has a sword, so he can fight with the swords, but he's not necessarily like a swordsman or maybe he is, but the point is he can duel with the world's greatest swordsman, which is pretty crazy, with one arm, mind you. That's the power of a Yonko.
Yeah. We kind of learn a little bit more about Blackbeard through them, about like his primary ambition seems to be being at the top of things. He wants to be in power. He kind of wants to be the fucking king of the pirates.
Yeah.
Which, whenever we first met Blackbeard, before he was even Blackbeard, when he was like drinking with Luffy in the bar, we commented a lot about how he and Luffy are so alike but so different. Yeah. Like you can call him a foil, but they also have so much, like they have so much in common. But the fact that Blackbeard wants to also be king of the pirates is like, I think we have Luffy's main rival here.
Don't forget that Blackbeard gave like maybe the most impassioned speech about dreams in that chapter, where he has a man's dream never die speech. So despite him being a scumbag, he is very much Shadow Luffy. Like,
yeah, I was about to call him Dark Luffy. Yeah. But yeah, Shadow Luffy, Black Luffy. Well, no.
Whoa.
Well, I was like, he's Blackbeard, but then I was like, well, maybe not Black Luffy. But yeah, dude, I am very excited for Blackbeard versus Luffy. We also learned that Shanks is asking Whitebeard to tell Ace to not go after Blackbeard. That would be a bad thing.
He's telling Whitebeard to tell Ace.
Yes. Yeah, tell Whitebeard to tell Ace to not go after Blackbeard. I don't know if we know exactly why in particular
Well, I think
Pirates.
you can derive the reason why. He's like, Blackbeard gave me this scar. He is way too dangerous for Ace to fight.
Oh, you know what? He's looking out for fucking Ace, dude.
Yeah. He's like,
It's
Ace,
also-
he says he's too young, so he's like, Ace is like too young to throw himself at someone that conniving and dangerous.
And, Whitebeard, it's actually really cool how much characterization of Whitebeard's crew we get through learning about their code. Because we learned some about his code here and some later on, where here, like the worst crime you can commit in their crew, and I think it's for pirates in general, but I think they like explicitly have a rule for it.
Yeah.
Is no fratricide. Don't kill your fellow crewmates.
Yeah.
He mentions
and-
you're a son when you join his crew, so you're a family now.
Yeah, Whitebeard's like, I can't call him off. Like Blackbeard has to perish for this.
Yeah. Which is badass.
And we also learn more about their code. Like we get more of their code later, where Blackbeard is like, on Whitebeard's crew, it's first come first serve. If you find a devil fruit, you get to eat it. And I just think that's cool.
Yep.
We get to learn about stuff.
Yo.
Yo, whenever they clash blades and it splits the sky open,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
That's what we're dealing with now. Also, there's
Yeah.
Yasop.
Yeah.
In case you forgot he's Yasop, he's got a tattoo that says Yasop.
Ooh.
Do you know who Yasop is, Bradley?
Do I know who Yasop is?
Yes.
That's
you do.
Usopp's dad.
Oh my god. When did we hear about this again? Oh my god. Yeah, because Usopp's dad was a pirate, wasn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
so when Luffy meets Usopp, he's like, "Yo, I knew your dad. He would shoot apples in the bar with Shanks. He's part of Shanks' crew." There he is.
Fuck.
There's also Lucky Roo in the middle. He's the fat guy who got the first kill in all of One Piece. Shot that dude in the head. Dude probably lived. And then there's Ben Beckham, who is Shanks' right-hand man.
Who beat everyone with the back of his
Yeah.
gun.
Is this fucking Usopp's dad?
That's Usopp's dad! That's Yasop! His arm says Yasop!
Dude. I didn't even realize. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Man, I just gotta look. He looks like a fucking man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Is that what Usopp's gonna glow up into?
Maybe? Who knows?
Maybe.
Bigger nose, though, probably.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he definitely
yeah.
got the mom nose, but...
Yeah. Man,
That nose do.
what a
Did you-
Chad.
So you never internalized that that Yasop is part of Shanks' crew?
I guess I just forgot because it was fucking that long ago.
It's like a one-page mention. Like Luffy mentions it, and then that's about it.
Man.
But so to add on to the stakes of Luffy reuniting with Shanks, there's also the moment where Usopp reunites with his dad.
Man.
So they're kind of going with Luffy and Usopp are also on the same path of beating the standards of their mentor or their aspiration,
Yeah.
person of their aspiration.
Don't forget that Yasop sucks. Because
Yeah, he did kind of leave Usopp behind, didn't
he
he?
left his sick wife behind because, like, baby, I gotta go pirate. And, like, the wife and Usopp are like, yeah, that's admirable. I'm not like that. I'm like, fuck you, Yasop.
Man.
Granted, whatever Shanks might be doing as a pirate might be more important than the life of his wife, which is dark. That's a dark thing to think about.
Yeah. So,
Boy!
it's funny.
Boy!
Immediately after Shanks tells Whitebeard to call off Ace, we turn the page and we see Blackbeard, and Ace is like, hey, it's me, Ace, to kill you, Blackbeard.
That's what they call drama, Bradley.
It's pretty cool.
Yo, Blackbeard's new design is looking fresh.
Yep.
He's
Fresh.
He's looking hella piratey.
He's looking daddy AF.
So,
Whoa!
Bradley,
Let's talk about Lafayette.
which one's that one?
black one?
boy. Yeah.
Tap
What about it?
dancer. The Lafayette did that thing already, right?
Yeah, he showed up to Marijoy that one time, right?
Yeah,
And
he
he
just
was
shows.
like,
He just shows up and they're like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Hey, you need to consider Blackbeard for
a new warlord.
for a warlord position."
And they're like, Blackbeard who? And he's like, oh, you'll know.
You'll know.
You'll know.
Maybe they're about to find out. Like literally right now.
Man, glad to see Ace again.
Yeah, so just to bring things back a little bit.
Bring it back now, y'all.
Whitebeard mentions three people: Roger, Garp, and Sengoku.
Whew.
We know two of those people.
But we've mentioned Sengoku in the past. He was in the flashback, but he wasn't drawn that much attention to.
Mm-hmm.
But he was definitely in the Ohara flashback.
Yeah.
So have we only heard of him in name?
No, we saw him as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think he was named during that flashback.
Okay.
But it's just important to note that Whitebeard's been around since these three people were in their prime.
I got you.
And then we skipped over it previously, but Garp is a legendary Navy man who cornered the Pirate King on many occasions. So that's another thing. Garp is Gold Roger's rival. That's kind of the implication there.
Yeah.
Garp is?
Yeah, I believe they mentioned that he cornered.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what it was, but
it's on the first chapter of this volume. I went back to double check because I know it was probably mentioned here.
That's why he's a Marine hero, because you can imagine that Gold Roger is probably like the golden standard for power scaling in One Piece.
Yeah.
And if Garp in his prime was able to duel with Gold Roger, then Garp's kind of fucking badass.
Yeah.
Wait, so Garp isn't the one who actually captured Gold Roger, is he?
I don't think it mentions anything about that.
Okay. It doesn't mention anything about that. It just says that they went up against each other multiple times.
It's like, who the fuck could ever capture this man?
Yeah. I also just wanted to point out that Whitebeard was alive during the time that these three were the people of the sea. That's just the kind of the little.
He says there aren't many people left who remember the ocean the way it used to be. So I guess the implication is that those three were really influential to how the ocean used to be. 22 years have passed. Time.
Time, big thing. But that's all for this volume. I thought I'd just point out because it's there and to give this to show how old Whitebeard is, and like he's kind of like the symbol of the old age. That's what I'm kind of getting at.
In the question corner, someone asks, "Hey Oda, how come Rob Lucci had to kill those 500 hostages?" And Oda's like, "Because he's a bad person."
Oda, he looks cool. I want him to be nice.
So in cover storyland, Eneru was not able to kill this cute little Lieutenant Spacey.
Hey.
Lieutenant Spacey's probably the one who captured Gold Roger.
Yes.
Yes.
You look at that gun.
Look at that gun. I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out what's going on with him.
Yep.
Nope.
So, meanwhile, Frankie is creating the Straw Hat's new boat, which this whole volume leading up to the boat reveal, I'm just like, I can't wait to see this new goddamn boat.
Yeah. So this is a good little Straw Hat chapter.
Ooh, bounty reveals. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
Fuck all that shit.
But yeah, Bruce is hanging out. Luffy learns that he's building a ship. He gets beaten up for some reason. I don't remember why. There's
so much text in this chapter. What is this, Hunter x Hunter?
I know.
Usopp's like practicing his.
Oh, they spent the last 100 million berries on all the food for the party.
Dude, a 100 million berry party.
Yeah.
You know that was the best fucking party of all time.
Snapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Usopp practicing up. You can tell.
Yeah, Usopp is practicing. I was gonna say that it's just really nice to see Frankie working with the Galila. That's so wholesome.
Yeah.
It feels like such a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
So in our previous recording, Kokoro had mentioned Fishman Island at Enies lobby, and I was like, I wonder if we're going to go there someday. And then here she is saying, of course, the next island is the underwater paradise Fishman Island.
Fucking wow, we're going there, huh?
We're going to Fishman Island.
And, I just think it's, it's good that we get to see Nami is not super keen about going to Fishman Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why. So do you think we'll be getting there next volume, Bradley?
If It sounds like it's going to be hard to get there because of the Florian Triangle.
Yeah, it's definitely the next adventure.
It's funny, whenever Kokoro's describing the Florian Triangle, like, crews will disappeared, and there's, like, legends that there's ghost ships crewed by the dead, and Luffy's like, so I get to meet a living skeleton? And Zoro's like, where'd you get that from? Like,
how did you put A and B and get C?
Yeah.
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah, that is delightful.
Yeah.
Can't wait. There's some great use of these like dark lines. Like Oda's been using the shading a lot this chapter.
Yeah.
Like he uses it over here in the sunset, which is a great looking panel.
Yeah.
That I really like. I wish it was bigger. And then he shades Sanji's face here, which I think is really funny, and that makes her look haunting. But good uses all around.
Mm-hmm. Let's get down to brass tacks. This is why we're here. All right,
Jimmy.
Bounty reveal.
Wow,
Bounty
what a page.
300 million berries, baby.
Oh, we get like one of the best jokes in One Piece next page, so that's good.
Yeah. God, 300 million. Let's look at all these. Monkey D. That's fucking hefty right there.
Tripled his bounty.
Dude, if he went to what's that town with all the pirates who throw around their bounties?
Jaya.
Dude, if he went to Mock Town, nobody would be fucking with this guy.
Oh my, he's not even close. He's so above them.
Dude, even Zoro, 120. Dude, when you're in the triple digits, boy.
Yeah, Zoro's not fucking around. He's got a higher bounty than Alabasta Luffy. Just consider that.
Dude, Nami got a 16 million.
Respectable.
Sexy photo. And it's funny because later on she's like, yeah, you know, the guy asked to take my picture and I thought he was for like a magazine or something. So
So Soga King has a bounty. Nice, good for him.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that it's Sniper King.
Yeah. I don't like Robin's bounty has always pissed me off. She went up 1 million berry after the trouble. First of all, she's already the most dangerous woman, and we had to bend backwards to explain why she doesn't have a higher bounty than, say, Luffy. And that was just upsetting that she only gets a 1 million bump.
Dude, Chopper, nothing to sneeze at. 50 million?
No, 50. That's 50.
Oh, 50. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was 50 million. Holy fuck. Okay.
Oh my god, they got you.
They got me. I thought it was fucking 50 million.
No, they think he's the pet. He gets 50. He's not even worth $1. He's worth 50 cents.
He's like a gumball.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. Okay, I was sitting here like, damn, you know what? After that 3 Rumble Ball transformation, I'm like, man, 50 million. All right.
That's the thing. Nobody knows that was Chopper. Like, they weren't able to piece that together.
They thought it was Nami when she supersized herself.
Yeah.
Good joke, Joe. You're a funny guy. You know what else is a good joke? Sanji's life.
It's so funny what happens with Sanji because at that age, he's like, I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be famous. And then it's also cool that has he been called Blackleg Sanji before?
He is just now Blackleg.
It's cool that like they gave him a name, you know? Like he's a fucking notorious criminal, Blackleg.
Have you realized what's the coolest part about that name? It is a parallel to Redleg, who is his mentor. Redleg.
I forgot his name was Redleg.
Yeah, and now he's Blackleg Sanji.
Man, that's cool.
I thought there was a joke where Sanji speaks in, like, not words, just symbols.
It's in next chapter. That's
the fucking best. Frankie also got a bounty. If you needed any more... I like, though, that Frankie having the bounty is what urges the Frankie family to be like, bro, you gotta get out of here. You gotta join them.
Yeah, they finally asked the Straw Hats to take Frankie with them, and I'm like...
It's time.
Yeah, we knew this was coming.
Yeah.
So, that's cover storyland, though.
Oh, God, that Sanji picture.
Lieutenant Spacey regrets going AWOL.
Okay, what a good sentence.
You guys described this cover story as a fever dream, and so far...
Oh, we're not even there
yet. Looks about as confused as I am. He's like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Bradley, where do you think this cover story is going?
There's going to be a poneglyph on the moon, and these things are fighting to protect it.
Wait, what?
There's going to be a poneglyph on the moon, and these things are fighting to protect it.
Nice.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess. Good theory.
That's not a theory. That's a fact. I love Sanji speaking in wingdings here.
That's so fucking
He's
funny.
so upset about his
so mad.
But it's just funny how abrupt he does it, because Zoro's like, that's what you look like, and Sanji grabs him by the collar. He's like, it's so funny.
Oh my god, Oda's brilliant.
And then
I've seen this joke like 50 times, and it makes me laugh every time.
it's always funny. And then Oda keeps the joke going, where over at the Navy headquarters, this guy who was tasked with taking the pictures, he's like, yeah, I actually did take a picture of black-legged Sanji, but when I developed the film, it was solid black. It's a very mysterious phenomenon. And it's like, did you take off the lens cap?
Jesus Christ, this manga is so stupid.
I think this is Sakazuki too.
It looks like it, but we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know
like
what
it.
that is.
We don't know who he is. Well, we know who Sakazuki is. He was in the Ohara.
We don't know
flashback.
nothing.
And since Oda can't go 2 or 3 pages without knocking our fucking socks off, here's the Straw Hat's new boat.
Yes!
Take a look.
Oh, I'm so happy. The Thousand Sunny.
It's here.
I was there. While they were looking at this boat, I went on the Discord and I was like, man, it almost feels like cheating. It's like we're cheating on Mary, but this is what Mary would want.
Yeah, that's what we have to believe.
It is a pretty fucking sick boat.
And it's got some fun tricks that'll come up later.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, Frankie.
That's quite a ship. All right. It's got a lawn. It's got a slide. It's got this headpiece thing.
I have a lot to say about the Sunny's design, but I think it speaks to the core themes of One Piece, which I don't think we should get into this early.
Yeah.
But retroactively, the Sunny is a very interesting looking ship.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the rest of this chapter is everyone on planet Earth trying to convince Frankie to go with the Straw Hats.
They steal his shorts, which is a very goofy mission in the Pirate Warriors games, but
it's also really annoying when you're trying to 100% that mission.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Frankie has no dangle.
Oh, it's One Piece. They're not allowed to dangle. It's going up. It's boner mode right now.
Constantly up.
Correct.
Well-placed baseball right there.
Yeah.
So there, in the missions that you have to like stop Frankie from getting his shorts, he runs around with this like bandolier of like grenades and like whatever around his crotch.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I thought whatever. I thought it was just a normal model. That's cool.
No. They have that around him.
Hijinks ensue. He's got a hairy butt.
Yeah. I like that he is in the middle of the chase of this after his trunks, but he's still having this conversation with Luffy and like is extremely proud of his ship.
Yeah, he's selling the ship as he's doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, and then they end up at the scrapyard and they tell him, it's like, if you want the back, you gotta come with us.
And then what happens? And then Bradley got his food or something.
And then I got my question corner.
Yeah.
Where someone asks Oda, do all devil fruits have that swirly pattern on them? And he says, yes, they do. That's one of their features, it seems. You know, there's times when I think that Sanji himself is a devil fruit.
Ooh, he's revealing his true self.
Y'all, one of these question corners, I don't know if he already passed the question corner or if it's coming up, but he mentions that there is an identification manual for devil fruits.
Yes. That's
Gets
very
me
important.
thinking. Gets me thinking.
If they're man, we could have a whole conversation about that, but we'll save it.
Yeah.
I just had a crazy theory.
Oh fuck.
And this is a surprise to Joe too. Joe, what if
Sanji is a devil fruit?
No, that's where it came from. What if they had a devil fruit eat another devil fruit?
Oh,
holy shit!
That's how Gold Roger was born.
Is that a black hole? Like what happened?
What happens?
Ooh, you know what?
Ooh.
I bet that's actually going to be something they explore.
That's hot.
No one's ever brought this up before. Like, this is actually the first ever that anyone's talked about this. Like,
that's going to be the final boss of One Piece.
Wow. Interesting. Joe, let's have a discussion afterwards about the implications.
Over in Cover Story Land, an Eru, like us, is wondering what the fuck is happening.
There's more of them now. The old battlefield.
Lieutenant Spacey has made it back to the battlefield where a variety of Spaceys are here. One is a knight. Spacey's like a World War I soldier. We have a samurai. I'm not sure what the other one is.
Knight. That's like a
colonial Spacey.
Yeah, explorer Spacey.
I was about to try to make sense of what's going on here, but I can't do it.
I promise it does make sense. Maybe.
I hope an Eru has fun opening his nail salon with all these little warriors in it on the moon.
I love Frankie's line here when he's naked. A man is naked his entire life. May he be a lion and stand against the crashing waves.
That was a pretty badass line.
That's that dumb Oda poetry that just hits. It just hits different.
He's a man among men.
Dude, naked Frankie hits different.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
And then Robin does something that gets Joe jealous to this day.
Y'all, this is the most powerful attack in One Piece since Smile Punch.
No joke, Bradley. This is one of Robin's moves in Power Warriors 3 and 4. In 3, it will straight up KO a boss in one hit.
I don't doubt it. She is borderline about to rip his Frankies off.
Yeah.
She grabbed him.
Like, whenever she was gearing up her hands there for a second, I was like, is she actually going to do it?
She did it.
And,
she did it.
Dude, Spandam got off easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he just had his fucking spine broken in half. He didn't get this.
Spandam would have enjoyed the CBT.
So. Yeah, you know what? CBT, baby.
Goes back to Post-Enies lobby Robin, where Robin's just like, I'm just going to fuck around now.
I'm just vibing now.
Yeah. Vibing Robin. That's the best.
We get a flashback where Iceberg is revealing, hey, you know what? This is kind of what Frankie's actually always wanted to do, even though he's not admitting it right now.
Yeah,
he's being very tsundere about it.
He's being very tsundere, and I also really like the touch later on in this chapter where Robin is like, I'm actually not doing it anymore. He's pretending I'm doing it because he doesn't want people to know why he's crying.
Yeah, that's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
So this part where Frankie mentions making the ship of dreams. That was the final line of the Tom flashback as well. Yeah,
nice.
So it's just something to keep in mind that was set up a long time ago that Frankie always believed in.
Man. Yeah. Everyone kind of yells about Frankie's balls a little bit more, about how they're gonna come off and how they're turning purple. It's very, very vivid.
You'll turn him into a woman.
Yeah, right.
There's a part that you skipped over, but Iceberg tells Frankie he has to forgive himself.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice moment because it's like Iceberg has at this point realized how like the grudge that he held against Frankie and has forgiven himself and Frankie for what's happened.
Yeah.
And now he's telling Frankie, he's like, you need to move on.
It's like
for Iceberg to say this, he has to also have come to terms with it.
Yeah, which is huge for him because, before Enies lobby, this was something that he was still really troubling him. He still hadn't really forgiven Frankie, and I think we're there now.
Yeah, I really like on this page we have a brief little flashback to Tom like laughing and crying while Frankie's thinking about all this. But it's a nice little moment, and it's kind of Frankie's arc coming to a conclusion. And we also have all these flashbacks to like Frankie gathering up the family and being like, "This is how we got together."
These I really like. They're very short, but it's like he truly took all these losers and all these outcasts and gave them a home, and that's really awesome.
I really like this. because it's just like I think up until now we didn't know why the Frankie family is so ride or die for each other, and it's like, you know, all they have is each other. Before the Frankie family, they were nothing. They were in the streets. They were getting scraps, and Frankie brought them all together. They're family now. They are a family.
And I like how they dress like weirdos. It goes with like how Oda views like Okamas. Like, they're these weirdos that are just totally okay being themselves.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more free than that. And freedom is such a big theme in One Piece, where it's like, yeah, like this is what it's all about for Oda.
You look at the Frankie family, and just from their clothes, you can tell they're outcasts, but they enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
They're outcasts, but they have their own community.
Yeah, outcasts together.
It also is just like Frankie, like all this bad stuff happened to Frankie, but like that soft heart of his never actually went away.
Yeah.
You know? He really does care for people, even though he got abandoned and lost some of the like closest people in his life. He still went out and found more people to care about.
Y'all, Frankie's in the goddamn Straw Hats.
It's
It's just gonna make Oda juggling all these main characters that much more impressive.
Yeah.
Because he's already done so well with it, and now he's adding another one in there.
I think we have hit the point of where, like, it's gonna get hard to juggle. Like, Oda does it well, but 6... was it... we were at 6 or 7? Or are we at 8 now?
We're at 8 now.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like...
Yeah. Yes, this is the 8th additional crew member, so we're at 9 in total.
It was so easy to put in a Straw Hat and then give them a particular role in the crew. But now the story's getting more complex, and the crew's even bigger, so Oda's really gonna have to put in work.
So, over in cover story land, though.
Oh, God.
What we actually care about. Some...
Yes.
legged individual is speaking up on an Eru. It could be anybody. It could be Alvida. Okay. It could be Whitebeard. It could be
Goldie Rogers Ghost.
It could be Monkey D Dragon. It could be anybody.
Honestly, it could be Khalifa after she turns someone into soapy form, because it kind of looks like that, you know?
Yeah.
But the actual answer might shock you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, this chapter. I love this chapter.
Man, we start this chapter, and as soon as I saw it was a flashback, I was like, oh, yeah. There's one thing we still need to address.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, as soon as Sanji saw Usopp practicing his return to the crew, he's gonna go back to everybody and be like, "Yeah, like, okay, we got like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do about this, right?"
And Zoro is doing what Zoro does best, which is just give real man advice. Yeah,
he's being he's being Mr. Manly Man here, but I think he is right here that, you know, if Usopp joined the crew here, if it wasn't clear that what he did really hurt the crew, you know, it might be more likely he does this in the future. And if Usopp just came back in and they never talked about it, I think they might all have some lingering feelings or doubts about it. Yeah. So Zoro's like, no, if he's coming back in, he's gonna apologize.
Yeah, we need to address it for real.
Yeah. I really like this panel where Zoro like hits Luffy on the head. It's just like, he's an idiot, but this is our captain. Like, it's this weird, like, Zoro understands where, like, he just has so much respect for Luffy, I feel, because he's the one that's making this stance. But it's like, I'm respecting his choice, so this is what we have to do to make sure we respect it.
Their bromance is delightful.
Yeah, I really liked this because, you know, it's not often they actually bring up the, like, obviously Luffy's the captain and they all know it, but it's not often that they really talk about this before Water 7.
It's not like a company where, like, there's a strict hierarchy. Like, they feel like a group of friends, but, like, Zoro comes in, is like, yo, he's the captain.
You say they don't bring it up often, but I have been mentioning how the role of the captain has been challenged and explored in Water 7.
Well, yeah, I was talking about before Water 7.
Yeah, fair enough. But, like, this is the final act of that entire idea.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's the closing act of Luffy's journey and growth as a captain in this arc.
Yeah. And man, just Zoro's such a he's a very prideful person, so to know that he like you guys said, he has that much respect for Luffy in his position, it's just something more to love about this character.
Yeah. Zoro is very understated because it's just easy to look at him as the cool guy. But
he's very quiet, but when he talks,
he has very important things to say. I also really like that everyone, because they're here for a few days, is wearing Galilok Company merchandise. I think that's kind of great, including Zoro.
Yeah.
Sanji's the only one still wearing his tie and everything.
Yeah. So, turns out Garp was told that he can't just let Luffy go because Luffy's his grandson.
Well, specifically, it's because he told Sengoku that he was just going to let him go, and he told him, like, you can't do that. You have to, like, go after him. Yeah. Like, it's your fault for saying because he's my grandson over the transponder snail.
The thing I think is really hilarious here is Kobe's reasoning. He's like, we just said goodbye to them. It'd be really awkward if we went and attacked them.
Fair enough. I don't know if we've explicitly said it, but Sengoku's the fleet admiral. He's the head of the head of the head of the Marines.
He is He's John F. Navy.
F. Yeah.
So also, I like to also point out that Aokiji's on the ship, and Garp tells him to shut up, you greenhorn, just like casually.
Even though Aokiji outranks Garp.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, it's just more thinking about Garp's place in the Navy is a very interesting one.
He is the goddamn hero of the Navy.
Yeah. He is the goddamn hero of the Navy.
He's only a vice admiral and not an admiral, so there's that.
But I mean, he is able to tout that at one point in time he dueled Gold Roger and lived, right?
If he's that strong, then you can imagine that like him being a vice admiral doesn't really mean much.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining anytime anyone criticizes him for anything, like, Garp, you left the toilet seat up, and he's like, excuse me, did you ever fight Gold Roger and live?
I punched Gold Roger in the face. I suplexed the Pirate King.
So yeah, I don't know. I love that guy.
He's great.
And then we got Usopp running through the town, just going over his plans again.
He's
and
being
thinking
such
about
a little shit here.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Usopp.
And this was really getting me scared because, Luffy's smiling as they're sailing off, and, obviously they would want Usopp to come back, but they're really sailing. Like, if Usopp didn't come back here, they would have gone,
I mean, he's smiling, but he's sweating profusely. He's like,
yeah, he is sweating. Like, he wants his buddy back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like sweating too.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
And it's just funny whenever Luffy and his grandpa talk. He's like, Luffy, and he's like, Grandpa, I thought you said you weren't going to catch us. And he's like, yeah, it's awkward. A lot of stuff happened. I'm going to have to send you to a watery grave.
And he goes for it.
Yeah.
He really does. Dude, he throws this ball so fucking hard. He throws it harder than a cannon. And then everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe he can throw that hard. And he's like, man, I can't throw half as hard as I used to.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That really says it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And man, so Usopp finally gets here as they're being bombarded. And I also like something I was also wondering in this volume is I was like, when is Luffy going to get to actually find out that Sniper King was Usopp, right? Because I don't think he actually knew. Like when they showed the bounties, they're like, wow, even Sniper King is here.
Yeah.
Does he find out? I don't remember.
No, he doesn't.
Here Usopp says, he finally yells, like, I'm Sniper King, don't you realize? Or I don't know if Luffy hears him, though.
I don't think he hears them.
Okay, but he tries to give them.
Yeah.
maybe Luffy knew all along. It's hard to tell. He is an emotional mastermind, so he could be fucking with us.
Maybe Luffy knew, but Chopper definitely did not.
Chopper 100% did not.
That is a 50-berry brain right there.
Look at this boy.
Oh, what a good insult.
50 bear.
And
man. Earlier today, Bradley thought he was 50 million. Just let that sink.
Dude, I thought he was fucking 50 million. I was like, God damn, dude.
No, he's a Cronagman man. What do you call him?
Fucking troglodyte.
There you go.
But man, it's like here you get to see Usopp go through all of his rehearsals, all of his lines that he thought would work, and all these situations, and they all fall on deaf ears. No one hears it until he's exhausted all other possibilities, and he just yells out, "I'm sorry."
And that's all it took.
Man.
Zoro's smiling.
Oh, man. He's proud.
He says Usopp.
There you go.
It's like Zoro's looking down, like he could be dodging a cannonball, but I like to believe like he's just looking down. He doesn't want anyone to see his little smile.
I think he's mid-attack, but also that works as well, where it's like...
I like that too.
No one can see my sly smile.
And Usopp just gives this really heartfelt apology, and Luffy gets his crying face over here. He's like, hurry, grab on. I love you.
I love this panel of the hand reaching out for Usopp. It's one of my favorite in all of One Piece, and like this whole three panel beat.
Y'all,
it's so good.
One of my favorite moments in One Piece was... like it was Luffy and Usopp's duel just for the tragedy of it, and this is now on the flip side where these two men have come back together, and it's very heartwarming.
Yeah,
I like how Zoro calls him the idiot, and he's smiling again. It's so wholesome.
Man,
so good.
Okay, chapter cover. All of our straw hats are back together.
Yeah.
True. It's happening.
It's
a great chapter. And Frankie's now in it. We all
the chapter's called 37th. I can't remember why.
So, 3rd because Usopp, and 7th because Frankie.
Hey.
Because they're both joining the crew.
That's cool. But yeah, everyone's on the goddamn boat now, so we can
let's get the fuck out of here.
We can't do our voyage without naming the boat yet.
Of course not.
They haven't named it yet.
Yeah. We gotta name the boat, and I was like, man, I hope they choose a name better than Going Merry. Like Merry Go, that's a choice name. No one would ever say Going Merry. That's a dumb.
Even in its death, it's rolling in its grave as Bradley does this.
No one would ever say Going Merry. Merry Go is a good name, but Going Merry, ugh. Don't do this.
Well, at least the name they pick here is the same for both, as I recall.
Dude, Thousand Sunny, baby. Yeah, that's a pretty cool name. You know what? Because I was really nervous. I was like, man, I really hope this boat I'm going to be seeing for what I hope is the next 500 or so chapters.
I mean, if it's not, then Frankie's dream is failed, and I don't know if One Piece would do that.
This is a boat made of the same stuff that the Pirate King sailed on, so it's gotta be the boat. But yeah, I was like, man, I really hope it has a cool name because I don't want it to have a stupid name if I'm gonna be seeing it all the time.
The Going Lion.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Thousand Sunny is a pretty good name, and it's funny because Frankie is like, new battleship Frankie, Lion Gang champion, and everyone's like, nah, let's go with icebergs. Let's go with icebergs. Oh, dude. Y'all, by the way, Garp throwing these cannonballs, Luffy just like deflects it like a key blast, okay? Let's just recognize.
Yeah. He's Luffy's getting to the point now where he can stand up to his grandpa power-wise.
Well, when his grandpa is throwing balls from a long distance.
Yeah,
that's true.
Fun fact about this boat, it's durable enough that, man, it's really goddamn convenient they have Frankie, because now they can do these maneuvers where he rockets them around.
Yeah.
Big mobility
all
boost.
I'm saying is the Merry Go rode the knock-up stream to fucking Skypiea, so this is like nothing. So
it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just don't.
but it can do this at any time without the use of the knockup stream.
Well, what?
First.
Garp almost hit him with a big ball, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, and whenever they get away, Garp is like, that's my grandson. Like
So-
he's probably glad they got away because he probably didn't really want to catch them. He's just
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I really like this line. So it's like, if your merry-go could do it, there's no reason this ship can't. It's better in every aspect, which at first is like, ooh, yikes.
Yeah.
But then it says, but that ship's brave soul will be carried on by the thousand Sunny. And I think that...
Yeah, that soul is going to live on.
And I think the fact that this is happening while it's flying, which is the Mary's, like key to fame... like it's the most impressive thing it's done, and the Sunny does it immediately. But it's like it's a baton pass via flying, which I really like.
It's kind of fucking bullshit how good Oda is at writing.
Yeah, it's so simple, right? But like it's there.
Not fair.
Yeah.
Why can't everyone be this good?
It makes reading like action manga so much harder when like you have One Piece to look at. Be like,
One Piece
There's
is
this
hardly
one.
an action manga.
Like, why am I reading this when
But,
I could be reading One Piece?
a battle shonen.
Yeah, One Piece is hardly a battle shonen. It is a political adventure thriller with battling.
So what's really cool about this chapter?
Yeah.
And the next one is we get to see what everyone else in the world is doing.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Before we move on from the spread, I like this 3 panels here about like how, like you said before, that Garp's happy that he's leaving. But I also like this part where Aokiji just is like, yeah, they got away.
Yep. Of course they did.
Yeah. There's definitely this feeling that like Aokiji and Garp walked into Water 7 without the intent of taking on the Straw Hats or taking it back. And then they're like, well, I guess we have to do our paperwork.
Yeah.
So the Giants are gonna go home. Not immediately because they live for fucking 300 years, but they're gonna go home. I hope their Chiefs come back one day.
That'd be cool.
I mean, the Chiefs aren't intending to both go back. One of them has to kill the other one, but I hope they go back together.
Mm-hmm.
We say bye to Iceberg for now. Love that boy.
Yeah. He's
a
also
good boy.
taking out the Frankie family now as their protector or leader.
But elsewhere in the world, Smoker's looking hot.
Mm-hmm.
Tashigi is my girl. She's very cool. I can't wait for her to fight Zoro.
Indeed.
And dude, he is hot on the fucking trail of the Straw Hats.
Yeah, where is he at right now?
It just says an island on the Grand Line. Okay. It's a cool fucking looking island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted the name because I was like, that's a cool fucking island.
Guaranteed you it's named somewhere.
Yeah. So I think Smoker originally started his chase of the Straw Hats because his transponder snail like intercepted bits and pieces of a message, and it made it sound like the Straw Hats were responsible for the Alabasta stuff, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is fucking on their case. Speaking of Alabasta, though, everyone got news.
Now, hold on. Just real quick. That's not the reason why he's still there, of course. Like, now he knows the truth, and he's just following them out of pride and...
Okay.
Yeah. He's following them because they're pirates.
He 100% knows, like, he's the only Marine who knows the truth. Him and Aokiji know the truth about what transpired in Alabasta.
Okay. But, speaking of Alabasta, I was so happy to see all of our friends again.
Yeah, such a good crew.
And they're like, oh my god, Nico, Robin joined the Straw Hat. How are we going to tell Vivi? She's like, oh, no, I knew. She's like, I knew it. And she's like, you know what? He is going to be king of the pirates, and whatever he does, I trust him. And I was like, you're goddamn right.
Oh, Vivi. Vivi's great.
Man, remember when she was a Straw Hat member?
Yeah. Vivi is like, she's different from anyone who was on the like, she's no Johnny and Yosaku who are just there temporarily. Like, she was a proper crewmate with a proper send off to a crewmate.
Yeah. Never forget you. I like the Straw Hats toasting with Usopp in the middle, getting beat up. He's it's just fun. We have all of our people back. Robin is like, you know, pre-Water 7, Robin probably would have been sitting up on the steps watching them all toast, but she's down here with them, smiling and laughing, toasting.
Yeah, like the change is rapidly coming. Like it's already here. Like
I have really loved Robin this volume.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus Christ, here we go. Here we fucking go.
Okay, guys. Okay. Before we talk about the cover story, there is a very important question in this question corner. White Hunter fan says, "Hey Oda, I got a question. It's about the devil fruit. During the time with Kaku and Khalifa of CP9, they said they didn't know anything about the devil fruit until they ate it. But during Luffy's time, how did they already know it was the gum fruit? Please tell me now. Please tell me." And I was torn between Oda always plans everything in advance and, well, sometimes Oda makes stuff up during question corners. I think this could be a mix of both. I don't know. But
I don't think so.
He says, "I will go into more detail about the devil fruit in the main story at a later time, but there is a sort of identification manual for devil fruits. It has information about the name and powers of each fruit, but there are a few that even have pictures to go with it. The gum fruit had a picture in this book, but the fruits for Kaku and Khalifa did not. They had to eat it to find out what abilities it had, and then they would go look for the name." That's how the conversation went. The conversation is in volume 40, by the way. That's it for Question Corner for volume 45. So obviously, whenever you read this, you're like, this is fucking interesting. We didn't know about this manual. Who the fuck is making it? What other fruits are going to be in it? And so I was under the impression that when you eat a fruit, you just automatically learn its name. Did they like eat the fruit and then they went and looked for its name in the manual?
Well, it seems like that's what they did, but I feel like you're right. Like, I feel like you would know.
Yeah, I thought when people ate it, they're just like, "Oh, I have the bling bling fruit."
Yeah. But this manual is definitely not like, it doesn't feel like an ass pull because so much stuff that's already been in the story but hasn't been properly explored hinges on this manual.
At the time Oda wrote the answer to this question, he had already drawn the next chapter, which mentions this manual. So
oh, there you go. Also, me and Joe have a higher understanding of devil fruits. And I can pretty much say that this manual doesn't seem bullshit at all.
Yeah. So that interesting thought to have, Bradley, is that because there's a manual, it means that the information for these devil fruits exists, right?
And you have to wonder how.
Yeah. Like, I'm sitting here, I thought there was only one of each fruit, which I don't know, there might be only one of each fruit, but I'm like, if that's the case, how would anybody ever have been able to make a manual? Well, so it's like these mysteries that
and why would a manual even be useful if it's only one of each fruit?
Yeah, right.
Well, we will let you ponder on these with no more hints.
Yep.
Cover storyland.
Jesus Christ.
Lieutenant Spacey's killed by a space pirate. So it's One Piece. There's pirates, right? And then we're like, oh, there's also like cool sky pirates and Skypiea, you know? Well, there's not actually a ton of pirates up there, but like you could be a sky pirate.
I mean, Enel's crew was sky pirates when they first invaded.
And you know what? There's another kind of pirate in fiction. There's goddamn space pirates. Of course there's space pirates in One Piece.
And they're fucking like, oh my god, I don't even.
It's just like a Looney Tune rat man with a hat and a lightning spear. And I remember I read this and I was like, Lieutenant Spacey's killed by a space pirate. Man, after killing off Mary, Oda's just killing everybody off.
I like how Eneru is just so uninterested.
Well, in all of these cover stories, he just looks like he's like, I don't understand what I'm doing here.
This was supposed to be my godland. What are they doing?
Yeah, he's like this endless forest. I imagine it's also like, holy shit, this thing did a lot more damage to Spacey than Enru did.
Well, I think
you'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other news, this chapter's called Fire Fist versus Blackbeard.
Huh.
I don't know what that's
about. So I turned the page and I'm like, oh my god, Baratier, let's go.
Hey, let's go.
Hey.
So everyone's like, oh damn, Sanji's like notorious, and they're like, they tell all their patrons like, yo, this is the fucking rest. Like, obviously there's still like the famous like home of the fucking fighting chefs. It's the Sea Restaurant, Baratier, but now it's also like the home of fucking Blackleg Sanji.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It is cool.
And man, like, it's just been like 30 something, maybe more volumes since I've seen these faces.
Yeah.
So
cutting back to the Baratier is maybe my favorite place they consistently cut back to. It just feels nice.
It does.
Luffy's village is pretty funny. Ooh, we get a name drop for a new character here.
dude, I forgot that shit was called Windmill Village. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, it's been super long. Makino, as you recall, is there.
Yeah, so here, Mr. Old Windmill Man. Does he have a name? I don't even know.
He's just the mayor.
I believe he's Whoop Slap.
Oh, damn. All right.
I might be wrong.
He sees Luffy's bounty and he's like, that family has been crazy for the last 3 generations. Does Dadon know about this? How do you say that? Dadon?
Yeah.
And Dan.
I read this name and I asked if I knew who this was because the name sounds familiar, but I don't know if this was like the first time the name's been
Bradley,
dropped.
I'm just really glad that you're adhering to the no Google policy. It's really important that you don't.
It's been hard because like
always ask. Always
yeah,
ask.
I got back to Windmill Village and I was like, this lady, that's not Luffy's mom, right? And I was about to Google it, but then I was like,
no, Makino is not Luffy's mom.
Yeah,
she just runs the tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did. She looked after Luffy as much as we know. Like, she was friendly.
Shanks'
that character's name is in fact Whoop Slap.
I fucking knew it. I'm the god.
And you know what? I was really glad when I turned the page here because just last talk, I was like, man, I wish Kaya could see Usopp now. And here, they see Sniper King and they're like, yeah, that's Usopp. That's our guy. That's our fucking captain. Look at that nose. Look at that nose. And she's so happy, dude.
Yo, she got a glow up though. She's looking nice.
She really. I wasn't gonna say it, but I was gonna think it.
She ain't sick no more.
Yeah, like this was so great for me because, like, she's always believed in Usopp, but now, like, that poster is proof that Usopp's not full of shit. He's the goddamn Sniper King.
That's so crazy because, like, the Straw Hats probably don't show up on the news, and even if they do, I don't think that the East Blue would get Grand Line news or like anything.
Yeah.
So, like, all they have of the Straw Hats' progress is these bounties. So that's really nice.
Yeah. Man.
Also, Kaya's becoming a doctor.
Yeah, she's gonna be a doctor, and like she got motivated. She's like, if he comes back, I need to be able to treat his wounds. I'm gonna go fucking study right now.
As you'll recall, both of her parents were doctors before they died.
Man, I hope Usopp makes babies with her.
Absolutely.
He stick that nose up in there and make little Usopps.
Little interracial babies? Question mark.
Question mark.
Because Usopp used to be like tan in the anime, but now like everyone's whitewashed.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I don't know, man. Don't think about it.
I thought Usopp was a soul brother.
Nah.
Him and Luffy.
Nah, they're all weird, like almost Japanese.
Yeah. It's fun to see Zoro's dojo where, his guy's like, okay, Zoro, notorious pirate, whatever. He's smiling. He's like, as long as you cherish your own way of the sword, that's what matters to me. I'll be proud of you.
Zoro thinks of his master decently frequently enough, so like
yeah, he really does. Like he's thought back to him in several fights. Like I think against Mr. One, he thought back to
specifically. But like that's a really nice one because like I bet his mentor doesn't even know how much Zoro thinks of him, which is just nice.
We get to see Nami's village, where everyone it's kind of the talk of the town. I was laughing about this on Discord, where this person's like, Nami looks so much sexier now, and another person's like, that's just proof she's a criminal. And it's also funny because what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Genzo.
Yeah. How the fuck can you ever remember the names of all the characters in One Piece?
Because I love One Piece, Bradley. And
okay, there you go.
If you loved One Piece, you would know them too.
But it's funny how he's like, I can't let them. Like, can you believe they're just posting this obscene picture of Nami all over the world? And she's like, you made a giant version of it.
That's kind of fucked up because that's like her dad. But whatever. Let's move on. Japan.
Yeah,
I think it's more of a pride thing than is a.
No, he wouldn't get like the sexy boob shot.
That picture's too sexy, dude. I don't care how proud you are of her. It's too sexy.
You think Mia Khalifa's dad has like a
big
frame? Of her? I don't think he does.
Oh, dude. Y'all. Fucking Drum Island.
Kureha and Dalton.
Man, I'm so glad we get to see all these characters again.
It feels good, right?
This is a blast from the past. It's like seeing old friends.
And it's a living world. Like, we see that their lives have gone on. We see just a little detail in the background. The Lapons are helping in the village. They weren't really domesticated when we first came here, but now some of them are, so that's cool.
And so we've been flipping through all these islands and people that we know and love. And then I go to the next page. I'm like, oh yeah, who are we gonna visit next? And I read this, it says the island of white soil, Baltigo, and I was like, shit. I don't know if I remember this island. And then we see these people that I don't recognize, and they're like, it's Straw Hat Luffy. He's the one who defeated Crocodile in Alabasta. And I'm like, oh fuck, these are some shady looking dudes.
Yeah.
And you turn the page.
There he is.
It's Monkey D. Dragon. The world's worst criminal, the Great Revolutionary.
Which means he gets caught all the time.
Oh yeah. And I guess I'll just read what he says here. Live as you wish. Luffy, there are times in history when it takes a will such as yours, together with chance and coincidence, to make people question the world. The day will come when we shall meet.
I really like that because will, the will of D, but then it's also like will, chance, and coincidence. So it's like he's implying that it'll take someone with the will of D at the right time to make a big splash in the world. And I feel like Luffy is the one pulling through right now.
Y'all, here's the thing about Dragon. So, he's fighting hard against the world government, which, I have some reservations against the world government. Yeah. There's some good apples in there, but, as an institution, I think it has some problems. So I'm like, you know what?
Wait, is there a single good apple in the world government? There was the judge that tried to...
Yeah, you know what? I guess there's good apples in the
Navy. Marines, but not the world... Like, so far, not really.
So, yeah, I'm like, yeah, Dragon's fighting against the world government. I want to throw him a bone and be like, yeah, you know what? He's probably a really good guy. But I'm like, Dragon, you can't have a face like that and be a good guy. All right, don't... You gotta do something about that situation.
I don't trust this motherfucker.
You gotta do something about that face, man. Like, come on.
I'll take it back. I'll say that Vivi and Drum Kingdom, if they count, because they're members of the world government, they're fine. They're cool.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Will and I have some hot theories about Dragon and the Revolutionaries, but we can't go into them till much later.
I was sitting here and I was like, wasn't this chapter called Fire Fist versus Blackbeard? And then I was like, oh, there they are.
Yeah, you fucking thought. If by Blackbeard they meant Genzo and by Fire Fist they meant Kaya, then yeah.
The thing is, I feel like Oda would do that. And I probably would have loved it.
Yeah. Anywho, we're here.
But yeah, so Ace and Blackbeard catching up on old times, like, Blackbeard, you're a pirate captain now. Yeah, you killed our fucking brother in arms, and then you ran off and became a pirate captain.
I like the sarcasm there. Oh,
Yeah.
Black, I'm so happy you're doing well, man.
So I just love the way Ace talks and looks, and I love everything about him. Y'all, I wish he was real. But he's like, look, let's cut to the chase. You've been around for a long time. There's no way you don't understand this situation. He's like, I'm obviously here to fuck you up. So Blackbeard, you know, kind of like Whitebeard was saying, he's full of ambition. He's like, I'm gonna become the king of the pirates, and I think he's the only other person besides Luffy in the story who, with that amount of gumption and certainty, has said, I will become king of the pirates.
Yeah, like Shanks and Whitebeard have never said it.
Yeah, even though like even though they're like the closest to saying it, they're not like, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
None of the warlords have said it. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I like how he threatens to kill Luffy, which is like, I'm gonna go kill Luffy, and that's gonna be my bargaining chip.
Dude, as soon as he threatened to kill Luffy, I'm like, you fucked up, dude. Like, I don't, and he didn't know Luffy was Ace's brother.
No,
he's like, that's my brother, and I'm just like, yeah, you fucked up. And seeing like Ace slowly start turning into fire here. Oh man, or I think that's the fire because he's getting shot, right?
Yeah, he gets shot.
But man, I'm like, goddamn Logia fruit users, man.
So bro.
And dude, this little like rapid fire fire pistols, fire gun thing he does.
Yeah.
That's such a cool move. And then this move where like Blackbeard's guy is throwing this fucking building at him.
That's Jesus.
That drawing is fucking sick.
That's Jesus Burgess, mind you.
Yeah.
That fire gun move and the flame pillar are both very cheap in the Warrior games.
God,
yeah,
fire pillar, man.
Like, I can't make it.
Ace like fucking bodies these guys. He does one fire fist and knocks them all over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even Blackbeard's like, hot.
Oh, Blackbeard is writhing. It's great.
It's like, man, like, even if you didn't tell me what element it's based on, if you told me someone had a Logia fruit, I'd be like, you're fucked. Don't fight them. And like, fire is one of the most terrifying elements there is.
Yeah.
Ace he kind of hit the fucking jackpot.
Did hit a lottery.
Yeah.
Did hit a lottery. So this is really cool. We finally get to learn why Blackbeard killed his brother in the Whitebeard crew.
Yeah, Thatch was his name.
Yeah, in the Whitebeard crew, whoever finds a devil fruit is entitled to eat it. So Blackbeard, his whole life, maybe not his whole life, but for a really goddamn long time, he knew exactly what devil fruit he wanted because in the fucking devil fruit manual, he found the one for him. He's like, he even says like, this power chose me. He's like, I am destined for this power. So that's cool. That like the manual is a known quantity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you would imagine that only like higher up crews have it because the Straw Hats have never run into it or anything like that.
So I was sitting here. I was like, well, okay, unless the fucking fruit is a Logia fruit, like, don't even at me. And he's like, a rarity even among the Logia fruits. I'm like, oh, okay, shit. And then we turn the page. The Logia fruit of darkness.
That's why they call him Blackbeard, boy.
Blackbeard, more like Whackbeard.
Yeah, so Bradley, I've got some good news for you.
Okay.
This fight continues in the next volume.
Yeah, you know what? I turned the page and I saw the preview for the next volume where Ace is like holding the fucking sun in his hand.
Yeah.
I was like, yay!
It's actually like a really good fight. So
yeah, I bet. It looks fucking sick. Hey, everyone buy Toriko.
Every time.
Every time.
Why they really love Toriko.
Around this time they did. They were really trying.
Yeah, My Hero Academia at some point started appearing in these.
Yeah.
Nice.
We should wrap up here because boy, we went over. Goodness.
Yeah.
Y'all, I mean that's probably one of the longest we've talked about a single volume, but y'all, it is the notorious volume 45. This is like, I don't think any other volume has been so heavy with lore and world building and new characters and visiting old friends.
Yeah.
This is a rarity among volumes.
Indeed.
Wow.
I hope y'all enjoyed our very long but very fun talk over Volume 45. Join us next time for Ace versus Blackbeard and the start of a very underrated arc. I'm so excited for Bradley to meet that character.
Yes, Bradley gets to meet himself.
Yo!
The Water 7 saga.
All right.
That's it.
That's concluded.
Until next time. Goodbye.
Bye.